physically, if not emotionally prepared, we'll get started. I have a ton of housekeeping items this go round. Because I actually had time to do prep stuff, which means, of course, I delved into the dark arts and learned things.
Uh-oh.
Well, the first thing is I corrected the sparking bolt description on your bow blade, Terel. So it now
Okay.
reads lightning damage instead of fire. That was me copy pasting something and not correcting, for your specific case.
Okay.
So it should be less confusing now. I was reminded of an interesting feature of inspiration this past month. Not only can you reroll one of your own attacks or skill check or saving throw with inspiration, but you can also force a creature making attack against you or someone else to reroll as well. So I thought that was pretty
Okay.
nifty. I was like, oh, I'm mind blown a little bit.
So you're basically forcing the opponent to have disadvantage, yeah?
Yeah, you can give as well as giving yourself advantage. You can give the opponent disadvantage
Right.
on a d20. I thought I'd mention that now so we can all forget it before it's actually relevant to the game.
Sure.
So I was trying to remind myself of how your different character abilities work this week. Hubris. And I rediscovered Kai because he's a School of Evocation wizard, has the potent cantrip ability, which basically means any cantrips you have that force targets to do a DC saving throw to determine whether or not they take damage. If they succeed, now they still take half damage, whereas before they wouldn't have taken any damage.
Okay.
So that only seemed to apply to your acid splash cantrip, but I did update that in Fantasy Ground, so theoretically that will work
Okay.
for
Thank you.
applying damage. I mean, I'm hoping it will work.
Well, we'll give it a try. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity to try it.
For Yelena, I was reminded that she has an ability kind of like Terel's Divine Sense. But in the case of Rangers, you can expend a spell slot and use an action to focus your awareness on the region around you to sense.
Is it the favorite enemy?
Not your favorite enemy, but anything. Like your favorite enemy kind of affects it, but you can sense within a mile of you aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, and the undead. But unlike Terrell's thing, it doesn't really give you a direction. You're just like, okay, there's a presence within a mile.
Okay.
Of these things, and when they're your favorite enemy, the radius of it goes up to 6 miles.
Okay.
Crazy sauce. I was just picturing you walking anywhere and being like, hey, are there dragons around? Yep, a mile away somewhere, there's a dragon around.
Well, yeah,
quick, let's go see them.
That's good to know.
I don't know, I got tickled. And then for Terel, handy thing that I was reminded of this week was that your lay on hands ability isn't just for healing people. You can spend 5 points to cure poison or disease.
Yes.
And I think back in the day, this is why I set it up in 5 hit point increments. I think I probably knew something way back when that I have forgotten since. But when I read this, it also occurred to me in the last session, Terel could have cured Nala of her necrotic infection, and she didn't have to lose her arm.
Oh.
Once I read that, I was like, oh man. I was like, as a dungeon master, usually I like to have those things in my thought that these are possibilities that you guys could choose. And that one completely whiffed me. But that's the housekeeping. All of the things that I learned about D&D this past month that I'm going to start forgetting right now.
Okay.
So shall we all.
Yes, exactly.
So
You know
last
us so well.
session, you guys started it at the cellar of the Undertaker's shop. You collected some embalming fluid for potential anti-undead alchemical crafting stuff that Sigus the blacksmith is all hot to trot to do. The building had a freight elevator in motion. The creaking of its chain pulley and a faint flickering sound of fire set you all on edge as you confronted what lurked within the elevator shaft. You found a skull symbol, something just out of the reach of Yelena's memory, but the celestial puppy Good Boy came through and explained that this was the sign of Dorsane, an ancient demigod that had been believed banished or imprisoned from Terel for centuries. The idea that the King of Ghouls is having a resurgence in the realms is a little bit unsettling. And there's like a brief thought, is this tied to the Direwoods? Is this something different? I don't know. Is this a cult thing? Does it matter? Is this our problem?
That sounds like us.
Yeah, that's usually the
Exactly.
response. And then the freight elevator descended to reveal a pair of flame skulls, which threatened to incinerate the party in green flame. The skull visages taunted you throughout the battle at times, taking on the guise of Lord Brossfeather. His malevolence seems somewhat focused on Terel, especially perhaps because Terel is a paladin of Maliki. But defeating the Flame Skulls, the party managed to capture 2 vials of ectoplasm from the Flame Skull's fading essence. And that ectoplasm is a component for some of the items you might be able to forge at the blacksmith's shop to use in the showdown against Brossfeather to come. The party also recalled that Flame Skulls are cursed, and they're going to come back in about a day unless you dump holy water on them. You found 1 vial of holy water, I think, within the Undertaker's shop, but Terel had a brainstorm that, oh yeah, I can make that stuff with powdered silver. And you've also gathered some silver items and found some powdered silver, with which, I guess,
I'm fairly sure we all agreed that I could just pee and that would be holy water.
I think we decided it wasn't pee.
Oh,
I think you specifically asked me, is it pee?
Well, that
shucks.
makes an interesting attack mechanism.
It is, isn't it?
Slightly different from like how you handle jellyfish is how you handle undead. You do not pee on you do not pee on undead to fight them off. The party explored the Undertakers further for useful supplies, and Yelena and Kai detected the sound of some faint footsteps coming from the floor above. You discovered 4 weakened survivors, a man, a woman, and 2 children, hiding under the bed in one of the upstairs rooms. The man named Tycho was a stable hand and assistant to the deceased or long gone Undertaker. He assisted the party in recovering some silver for Terel's plan to make holy water. So I'm about to make a joke about fluids to hydrate, but he also led you to storage. And after Sygus erected one of his healing turrets, you discovered the woman Nala had a necrotic growth on her arm, ready to burst. Yelena jumped into action, hacked off the limb, saving the woman from certain death because none of us remember how lay on hands work. And
Oh well.
her arm exploded in a deadly burst.
She's alive? What?
Yeah, she's alive. A
Let's-
little
let's
bit
not-
traumatized, but she's alive.
Let's not talk about that.
And that's more than she could have expected otherwise. So come on. She came out ahead with 1 less arm.
But less than arm.
Yeah. Exploring the top floor, you found a vial of a potion called Ecstatic Renewal and a vial of holy water. Noticing one of the bodies in the embalming room wriggled under its skin, Kai set it on fire just as a precaution. This incinerated the carrion worm that was hidden inside the corpse. Unfortunately, Kai's flame seemed to please the watching eyes of Lord Brossfeather. You all heard his laughter echo throughout the room, but only Kai heard a whisper in his head, encouraging the use of fire to consume. It has been 14 hours since you first entered Zelbras. It is around dawn. on the 11th of Marbanath. You have slightly more than a day and a half before there's risk of Brossfeather's undead minions digging into the cemetery crypt where the rest of the known survivors took sanctuary. It is about 2 days until Lady Belafana agreed to start looking for an alternative route for the caravan without you. All that's left is to search the workroom and decide your next steps as you make your way to the blacksmith's forge to take shelter and perhaps create items to aid you in the looming confrontation with the Grave Knight terrorizing the village of Zelbros. So what you got going on?
Oh, I guess we go up and search that last room.
Yeah. Do we have a map?
Oh, let me reshare. I couldn't resist eating a
Okay.
peppermint, so now I'm going to sound like I'm eating the whole for the next 15 minutes. So apologies if it's gross.
No problem. So we're going upstairs.
You're upstairs. Oh, and I also figured out like what my problem was with this map. It's because I didn't interpret the floors correctly. But I don't. But and that's why the stairs didn't make sense. You were already on the top floor. You left
Okay.
behind some of the other people, like the kids you found. Nala recovering with her goopy arm,
With her new life.
her new life. Yeah, she's adjusting. Cherish, Sigus, your friend Polton Gray. They're all on the floor below.
Okay.
And the only one with you, other than Good Boy, is the old stable hand assistant, Tycho.
Mhm.
He's been showing you what's what. You already looked at the storage room, and there is some stuff in the party inventory. I think in the shared party inventory. From the little people icon
Yep.
to the top right. I think that's the stuff you guys have already found.
Were we
So
we already searched the room with the caskets, right?
yeah, so that's the room with the caskets, kind of to the south of where your little avatars are. All that remains is to search the room to the east where Kai burnt the worm with fire.
Okay.
So anyone who's looking for stuff, make an investigation check.
Let me remember where my tab is.
Nope.
Yelena, you're a little bit distracted by the charred dead worm. You're wondering if like maybe it was poisonous. Is there something you could maybe salvage that would be interesting out of the remaining parts? But then you decide that, oh no, it's been burninated. This is of no use to me. But while you're having that internal monologue about parts of and scavenging in nature, Terel and Kai find a few other objects in this workroom. Kai, you locate another 50 gold worth of alchemist supplies.
Ooh.
So now there's like 100 gold worth of alchemy supplies
Okay.
in the shared party inventory.
I shall take them.
Terel, you find a potion bottle that looks like it has some kind of luminous green concoction in it that looks like it might be interesting, but you're not quite sure what it is. So you hand it over to Kai and with like, "What's this?"
Kai, what's this?
Kai, you also find a silver necklace. And you pick up a couple things, like you're like, well, there's more embalming fluid. You're like, do we need more embalming fluid? Do you think we need more embalming fluid? Sigus is downstairs, unfortunately, so
Yeah, I mean, we've got a barrel. Are we talking like what I would envisage a standard barrel, or is that
like a keg.
like a small keg or?
Yeah. For like a barbecue. But embalming fluid. And Kai, thinking about making necromantic stuff or anti-necromantic stuff, and you're thinking like some of the recipes might call for humanoid skulls. And
Okay.
there's 3 in good shape here. So you kind of like pop those into your bag, you know?
Okay.
You just say to Terel,
Just
went,
just in case. And these have been cleaned. They're like specimens of something. And a pouch of bone fragments. You're not quite sure maybe exactly like off the top of your head what this is going to be useful for, but you know, you think there's something scratching in the back of your mind, Kai, that like
Okay.
might be important. And there is another jar of ectoplasm.
And that was useful for something, I remember.
yeah, I need to check the notes, but we needed it for some other crafting.
Yeah, so there's 3 of those in the party inventory. I think that's it, unless you choose to take more embalming fluid. You do find some in pockets, a couple stray coins, like maybe 9 gold. And 20 silver.
Okay, so the embalming fluid we need for the vial of ecstatic renewal.
I mean, you have one of those made.
Yeah. Depends on if we want one each, really, doesn't it?
What does it do? Heal.
It's each time a creature is restored to consciousness after reaching 0 hit points while under the influence of this potion. So does that mean we have to take it before fighting, and then if we hit 0, or is someone fed it when they hit 0?
Either one would potentially work.
Okay. But basically it gives us plus 10 feet of movement, plus 1 bonus to saves, and 1d8 temporary hit points.
So it's kind
So
of
yeah,
like
I guess it brings you back with benefits.
you think of that situation with Hazel, the ranger back at that house when it was under siege, and how she kept getting dropped by the weeps, and the turret kept healing her, brought her back from the brink repeatedly. If she'd had a potion like this, every time she would have been a little bit harder to drop each time. It would have probably come in handy.
Okay.
But it is a bit grisly in that it only benefits you if you're brought to 0 hit points. And you have to rely on the ability of being able to be brought back from the brink. Terel, do a religion check.
Okay. Hang on, I've lost my sheet. Oh no!
Oh no, it's gone
Sorry.
forever.
I love how my religion is -1. Oh god.
Yeah. You don't have any additional thoughts about this matter?
Okay.
You're like, well, it sounds pretty cool. So, you've gathered everything that you can find, and you make your way back down to the 2nd floor to where everyone else is waiting. So I'm going to just drag you over there. Now, what are you going to do? There's people here. Tycho seems intent because of what you've cleared out. That he'll stick around. He's willing to take his chances hiding out in this building. He's like, I'm a stable hand. I'm not a fighter. I just want to like live long enough to, you know, make over the washroom. Put in some nice paper with flowers on. You also have like things that you need to put holy water on, or
Oh, that's right. We gotta go find those bodies and.
one body you can take care of because you have one bottle of holy water. The other one you might need to take with. If you leave it here, you're gonna be like, you're gonna have to. I mean, I guess manage how you want to handle that. But there's also the two kids, and there's Nala, and they're like kind of like, what do we do? Nala seems without missing one arm now at this point, she's kind of wanting to follow wherever Sygus is going.
Okay.
And the kids they're kids, they're clueless. They're like, we don't know where we want to go. They're kind of like, you know, petting the dog, but they'll do what they're told to an extent that they're capable.
Do we go back to the house?
Didn't we have to go back to? We were going to his workshop, the
Right.
blacksmith.
You know,
To
you
That
needed
means
to
we have
go
to
to
go
the
outside.
blacksmith, which
Right.
is nearby. So Sygus tells you that it is across the street. You have to go a little bit south, and he's like, depending on how we leave the building. And as you remember from coming upstairs, there is an exit to the north going out the back of this Undertaker shop. Terel, at the time you did your divine sense, you could tell that there was an undead presence outside of those doors. There is also an exit directly south out of the lobby. And you did not detect an undead presence before. And then you could also exit through the stables, kind of to the west. And Sygus is like, yeah, to the west or to the south is probably more direct to getting to the blacksmith. But you do have to like go about a block, like around some buildings or through an alley to get to the blacksmith. And he's like, we have to decide, you know, if we go to the west and to the south through the alley, we can get there to the back door, to the back entrance of my shop, of my forge, or we can go a little bit longer around, curve around to the east, and then go in through the front. And you did, to harken back to what you were saying before, I think you did say something about possibly sending some people through the underground tunnel back to that house in the south where people were barricaded before, feeling like it would be safe for a time at least.
So, I mean, I don't feel like we should be trekking the kids around with us if we're going to go fight and stuff.
Right. Maybe send them back.
But if the woman's not going to go anywhere but where Sygus is going, because I was thinking she could take the kids, Tycho's staying here. I don't know. What do we reckon? Because I don't really want to send Cherish away because she can do stuff.
Cherish, she's determined she's going to go to the blacksmiths. Sygus is like, well, I'm the blacksmith, I want to go. Sygus is kind of pushing Nala like to, you know, you don't necessarily want to come with us because we're heading into we're kind of heading towards danger.
Yeah, I mean,
and she's just kind of, you know, with everything that's happened, Nala's kind of like, but you are stronger.
Yeah, we won't be if we get overwhelmed and we're dead, though.
Can we convince you, maybe do a persuasion on Nala to take the kids back to the...
Absolutely.
Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
If you want to tell her what you want her to do, Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch! It was almost a 17.
Let me try. I don't really have great persuasion either.
Well, I've got a +3, but.
Ah!
Ooh!
She's freaked out by me because I cut her arm off.
Yeah.
You
Now-
Like, get back there.
I'm going out to dinner after this session, so I've decided to not drink anything today
Wise.
Okay.
since I have to drive. So there will be no consumption of moonshine in honor of that natural 20.
Okay.
But kudos to you. Yelena, because you chopped off her arm, once you're like, look, this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah. I got traumatized too.
And it's just like the way that you like tell her the cold hard facts about what you want her to do, which is what do you want her to do?
I would like her to take the kids, go down into the tunnel. Do they know the tunnel? Did they come with us through the tunnel? Yes, they did.
They didn't come with you through the tunnel, but
they know-
like
they
you're
know
just
what's
like there is a tunnel in the basement. It goes one way.
right. Just follow it till you get back to the other house and stay there.
Go there, hunker down.
Hunker down.
So because of the whole experience and your tone of voice, she just kind of like was like, okay, and now she's on autopilot. She gathers the kids together, and after you guys see them off, they're kind of like marching downstairs and headed that direction. So let me take them out. So Tycho's like, I'm staying here. Anything you need from me?
I mean,
Well, we need to take care of those undead.
Well, I thought you killed everything.
Well, they can come back. The ones
Ooh,
that
they can come back.
I feel woo is a wrong
Well,
reaction to that.
that changes my perspective on how I might
well,
deport myself.
exactly. Do you want to just go back? Go with
And you see him like really swiftly
No.
gather up his stuff. He's like, I'll see you later. And he goes running downstairs chasing after Nala and the kids.
Good. Okay.
Oh, cool. That sorts that out.
No, not a brave one, not Tygo. All right. So back to the core gang of you guys, Polton Gray, Tirish, Good Boy, and Sigus. To the blacksmiths.
That's right.
How? I briefly talked about. I'm shoving you back down to the first floor.
Sorry, can you share the map again? I seem to have minimized it and it's disappeared. Thank you.
It might have been me. Oh, this.
No, I minimized it and it just disappeared. I was like, what?
Something's. It's a thing. It's a thing. Sometimes I say this every single time about how much I hate not being able to drag things through mask mode. It's very annoying. So you're all on the first floor now, and it's like, okay, how do we want to leave?
Right, so if we went west through the carriage yard, we'd be. Where did I send see undead again? Is it out
Through
there?
the north.
Right.
I'm failing to write. Anyway, that those blobs, that's where dead stuff is.
Okay.
I was trying to write dead stuff, but failed.
I mean, do we just want to get the quickest route to the blacksmith though and just tackle
And-
whatever we come across?
Actually, let me reshare the village of Zelbros so it gives you an idea. So, let me share the Undertaker shop. So, there should be a couple green pinpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of them is the Undertaker shop where you are now. Another is the blacksmith a little bit to the southwest. And that's where you want to go.
How do we know
So-
which is which?
If you hover over it, it should give you a little tag
No,
that says label.
mine don't. Does yours?
No.
Mine doesn't.
Okay, let me attempt to write again.
That's the Undertaker's.
Mm-hmm.
That is a B. I swear to God.
Okay, so that's blacksmith.
It looks like a U.
It looks
But-
like a
No,
pear.
wait. There's one thing that has a U on it and one thing that has a B on it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I see. I have to zoom out.
So
So if we, yeah, I see now. If we're going out to where the stables are, and then we can just cut through that alley.
So
Yeah.
if that's where the stables are, we just go directly south, don't
So
we?
the three
Yep.
arrows are the different doors leaving the Undertakers.
Yeah, I feel like that was Mr. I don't know what's out there, but that seems to be direct.
Yeah. Should we
Unless-
do that?
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
any divine senses left, Terel? I can't remember how. I know you used at least twice.
Let me check.
But how many do you have?
I have 4 and I've used 2.
Okay. Just checking.
So 60 feet would tell us what's in the vicinity of where we are now. So I will drop another.
So you drop another, and you just kind of like move really quickly from side to side of the building, kind of like the different doors. You don't quite go into the stable, but you do sense the presence of undead to the north and to the west once you get really close to the stable. And it actually, the door to the stable, it has like a window in it that hasn't been broken. And you peer through it and you see like, okay, there's signs of death. There's like dead horses in the stable. But also like in the distance, you see that one of the stalls on the far end looks like there has been an opening knocked into the wall. And through that opening, you see signs of movement. Kind of like in the street opposite.
Okay.
That's probably like about 50 feet away from you.
Okay, so I've sent stuff to the north, sent stuff to the west, and potentially seen it. And I didn't sense anything to the south.
You do not sense anything out the front entrance.
I shall relay that to the team.
All right. So then that's the way we should go out then.
All right, south it is.
Mhm.
So what we can do if you come out south, it looks like we have to go either east and all the way round, or west to go through that alley that we were going to hit.
So I'm just wondering if we go west now, does that put us in the line of sight of whatever's in the stable?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to take the long way around.
Okay.
Wait, are you going out the
South.
South.
You're going out the south door. I was going to
Mhm.
move you to the map in the street. Out the south door.
Yep.
So at this point, you can go east or west. So like I said, you can go around. It's a little bit longer way around to the east, and it'll be going in through the front door, or it's shorter to the west, and you'll go in the back door.
Yeah, we're just worried if we go west, if whatever's messing around by the stables will see us. That's not to say we're not going to run into undead if we go the other way, though.
I was just wondering how tall are these buildings? Can we scuttle across the roofs?
Well, you just came out of a building that's like 3 stories high.
Yeah.
The building in front of you is at least 2 stories.
Could we get Kai's ladder out?
Oh yeah.
Kai does have a ladder, and it is 30 feet tall, and it is fabulous.
That fabulous ladder. Maybe we go to
Go over, yeah.
And Elena, you've got boots that fly, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Oh yeah, Yelena has boots that fly.
I can fly. Well,
You
I
could-
guess it's partially out of the spirit of I really don't want to abandon, but I can scout, can I?
Yeah, you can. You can float up and have a look, see if there's anything on the roofs already.
Why don't I do that? Yeah, after
All right.
the fuss I made for wanting to get some flying boots, and I forgot.
How high up are you flying?
Right there, however tall up that is, assuming
Right
I
there?
can make that. Yeah.
Okay. So you get up high, fairly high vantage point. Make a perception check.
I have too many windows, so I have no idea what I rolled.
You rolled a 14.
A 14. But you know what? Because you're because undead is your favorite enemy, I'm gonna give you advantage on that for tracking, because you're tracking clearly right now if there are undead things.
Roll one more time then.
Yeah. All right.
That did not do
Oh dear.
anything. Yeah.
But if you don't already have 2 inspirations, you can give yourself another for the natural 1.
Okay.
So looking around from your vantage point, you see littered dead in the street. Several humanoid bodies to the west of where the rest of your party is. But somewhat to the south of where Terel sensed the presence of undead, west of the stables. This is more closer to the alley, headed to the back entrance of the blacksmith. But that's where the brunt of the bodies are collected that you can see. With your keen eye, because you can use a bow of far distance and shoot like a ridiculous distance. You do see some movement in the direction that Terel sent something, but it's in the shadows. You can't pick out what it is, but there is definitely something moving there to the northwest, just to the west of where the stables are.
Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, nothing else moving?
You see what looks like there is a kind of long building. You can pick out the blacksmith's building. You assume that's what it is because of the heavy chimneys coming from multiple chimneys coming out of the building. You see that there is a kind of like a circular muscle mill out to the front of it as well. And then you also notice, like, to the east of you, there is kind of like a pointed spire of what looks like a temple building. It's been the spire has been covered with gold leaf. So you're like, oh, that's distinctive, because like even with the shadows of what has overcome Zelbaros, the kind of doom and gloom, and in this location where the air is stale and there's like this stagnant dread that even the ghostly whisper of a breeze just doesn't stir, there's this glimmer of a golden roof that has not been obliterated by all the death and destruction that has befallen this town. So you like take a moment and be like, oh, that's nice.
Shiny.
It's shiny, it's nice.
So can you say where the majority of the bodies are the bodies littered all around, or did you say it was in the alley? Sorry. Just trying to avoid dead people as much as possible.
Well, I mean, is the roof enough that we could get
Bodies.
over
Yeah,
it if we use?
That's what I'm thinking. Is maybe we
Right.
still need to stick to that plan and just go
Yeah.
with roofs.
So can you tell if the roofs are traversable?
That's a good question. Can I make an investigation or perception or whatever I need to do?
Do an investigation check. Or you can do another perception check if that's better.
Yeah, I can do perception.
That investigation is not like
let me go with
do you want somebody else to come and join you on the roof? I'm like, hey, get out that ladder. Can somebody double check my work here?
Yeah, exactly. Who's got good investigation?
Because you're just
Not
kind
me.
of stomping. You're stomping on the roof, and you're like, well, where I'm standing seems stable.
not.
I haven't fallen through the roof right now.
All right. Where's the ladder? Is it in your bag of holding, Yelena?
Oh yeah, it is in Yelena's bag of holding.
All right, so I'll pull
Right.
that out.
So
and,
Yeah.
you're like, it's the only
drop
thing
it
in this
down.
bag of holding other than the statue of Angarad.
All right.
Look at that damn statue. It's like,
All right. Well, Kai's gonna come up. Yep.
Yeah. I'll go up.
I'm gonna stand guard at the bottom.
Kai comes up, proud as punch, because your ladder is coming in so handy. You single-handedly made that happen.
And investigation.
that's better.
All right, a dirty 20. And also do a perception check while you're up here, Kai.
Yeah.
So Kai, you look around the roof, you're like, okay, this looks pretty sturdy as far as you're concerned. You could definitely make it very close to the blacksmith, but you'd either have to jump to the blacksmith's roof or just, calmly get down off the roof of this building and then proceed the last little bit to the front door.
Can we use a ladder?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Use the front door. You could use the ladder to climb over to the blacksmith's roof if you wanted to.
Or we could, or that might be safe enough to be at that point to go back
So
down to the ground.
So Kai feels very confident in the ability that the roof is stable, intact, and that your ladder will handle the rest of your problems. It's the best. But as you kind of look around, you pick out you notice what Yelena kind of like gestures. She's like, "There's a lot of dead bodies in that alley, and I don't think we should go there." And you're like, yeah, that seems cool. But you also notice, like, amongst the littered dead, there's, like, humans, halflings, there's a horse, oxen. They've all been rendered and chewed. The reason, you're like, well, these aren't zombies, but it looks like they've kind of been torn apart. So they probably weren't intact enough anymore to become the normal zombie flavor, and they were just food.
For something.
You also notice that there seems to be quite a few puddles of standing water. And you notice one of the severed heads has bluish flesh and fins adorning its skull. And you kind of pause, Kai, caught by details of the scene in the street, in that alley. And the dead, it's more than just humanoids and livestock. There's rats, too. Little small furry creatures. Birds. So many dead. They should invite the buzzing of flies, shouldn't they? But you don't see any of that kind of fuzziness that is so inherent to decay.
Maybe I should set it on fire.
And then you realize the
Fire
bodies,
fixes everything.
there's a pattern to how the bodies are lying in the street. It's
Has
almost
someone
as
done the
if
necro finger painting?
they're in a circle, like a perimeter of the dead, and you're like, you picture the circle of the curve, the arc of where these bodies lie in that alleyway, and you're like, if I drew a circle, Yelena and I are just outside of it.
Oh, do they activate if we cross it?
As Kai, is trying to explain circles to you, Yelena, because you've had a crappy set of rolls lately. A sparrow flickers over your shoulder as if it's going to land on another section of the roof. It flies forward toward that alley. It flutters, its wings flutter in the moonlight. It goes 5-10 feet west of you, and then its trajectory veers as its wings slow their beat. And in fits and starts, you watch as the sparrow jerks and spirals in a descent, and it crashes to the street in that alley, and you watch. It's not dead, it's still moving, but it seems to be struggling to hop, to move, to get away from where it is. Its wings are no longer tucked into its body like a bird would be if it was sitting on a branch, but dragging behind it, as though the feathers are weighted.
Alright, so there's some kind of spell over there then, do we reckon?
Yeah. Yes.
Sounds like it.
Kai, can you dispel that?
Only she could do it with a fireball.
Yeah. If I can set it on fire, I will. This spell. No.
It's my absolute favorite thing that Yelena keeps asking Kai to do all this useful magic stuff, and not a single thing is in Kai's
Guy's like,
book.
no, it's not fire, I'm not interested.
literally the glass cannon.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing
God.
doing.
No. No. I can set it on fire or we walk around it.
Does it impact where we want to go?
It seems like even if we crossed over the roof, we'd be in trouble because the sparrow flew over it.
Can we make out what? I mean, is it possible to have the actual circle that Kai knows of on the map so we can see where it is?
I can do a circle.
All right.
I've already said that you're technically not in the circle, and let me see. I might have been like lying by drawing a perfect circle, but we are going to pretend. That's a square of doom.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I wasn't totally lying.
All right, so that's the area where all the dead stuff is.
All right.
So we can avoid
We can
that.
avoid that. That's cool. Because we want to get to spot B down there.
Yeah, so we can just go south and avoid the Ring of Death
Yeah.
or intense gravity, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've got all that's.
Of course, this circle is like in Kai's mind, and he's trying to explain it to all of you. You're like, just picture, like, see where that stuff is, and where like that sparrow's kind of like struggling, and there's all that dead stuff, and that there's that cow. Yeah, you put them all together, it's like a circle. And as Kai is explaining this, Yelena, now you have your eyes peeled on this bird that's landed below and that's trying to move. And you see there is a well, and you realize that well is in the center of this space. And this trickle of greenish light begins to stretch like tendrils, slowly moving through the air in the direction of the bird.
I nudge Kai and say, "Look at that."
Yeah, I say we burn it.
I mean, I think Guy's got a great point, actually.
I
at
mean,
this
it might
point.
be. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, but
Just to Terel's voice. If you're going to set out on fire, can we come up first?
yeah, well, I mean, we don't know what we're gonna unleash if we set something on fire, do we?
All right, but if it's a well, it sounds like there's something in the well, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
hiding in there. So, do any of us know what kind of being could possibly be down there that would have this effect?
I'd say do like nature or an arcana check in Kai's chase. In Kai's case.
I will
That is
try a
hard to
nature.
say.
Oh, I'm rolling like crap tonight.
An 8 is balls. A 12 is balls for the purposes of this. It's not quite good enough.
Can I do a nature check?
Yeah, you can do a nature check, Yelena. All right.
Better.
19 is enough. Your first thought of the kind of thing that would be in a well and lurking is an ooze. Kind of like back
think
in the
it's an ooze.
sewers when you were in that fountain and you fought that weird like water creature before you found Terel's Bowblade.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That was lurking in a water feature.
Would that have like tendrily type things though?
It had pseudopodia.
Okay. Then I'm kind of tempted to go with Kai's idea.
Okay, I like it.
All right, Kai?
But I'm going to get everyone to come up first.
All right.
And bring the last person brings the ladder. With
Yep,
them.
yep. So I'll send everyone up before me.
Who do you want to come up last?
Me.
Is somebody going to help Good Boy?
Oh, yeah, well,
He is a golden retriever puppy.
I can fly down and grab him and
you
get him.
can, that's
Yeah,
true.
you can he's not so big you can't carry him along with you as you fly.
All right, I grab him.
All right, I can't move Polton
And he's like,
because he's an arsehole.
Yeah, I guess I haven't shared him with you. Wait, was he last, or you were coming up the?
I'm coming up last. Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted him up there.
And let me put Good Boy by Yelena. So everybody's up on the roof. Got the ladder.
Yep.
Now what?
We all stand back and let Kai do his thing.
We say, Kai says, watch this. Famous last words.
Yeah. Oh dear. Here you go. Well. Should I try? Like a fire bolt first, so see what happens, or should I just go all out and do a big old fireball?
Go big
What
or
do you
go home,
reckon?
baby.
Right.
tin-
Okay.
That's my thought, but yeah.
The tendrils, they're getting ever closer to this little bird.
Okay.
I mean, the bird's
well,
probably going to get crispy fried anyway, but
Yeah. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. I'll do a fireball directly at the well. And see what happens. How do you want me to roll it? In the
You're doing a fireball, full
ball.
throttle.
Mm.
Just roll a d20 for me, and I will.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
No, hang on.
I've got inspiration.
I'm gonna cast blessed as well. Hang on. Where is it?
This d20. The one is actually not a sad occasion because that was the saving throw
Oh.
for the creature in the well.
Oh. Okay. Well, yeah.
And it
I take it all
failed.
back. Nice.
Okay. Then I'll save my bless.
So this fireball erupts in the area. It was a mercy killing for the sparrow.
Yeah, probably.
And all these bodies just catch fire. So does the building that you're currently standing on. Just a little
shit.
though. It just started burning. I'm sure it will be fine.
Prestidigitation.
No.
Okay.
Have I got that?
You do because of those gallant footwear. I think that gives you prestidigitation.
Yeah. All right. I'll put the fire out. And if it gets any worse.
If I've got to. And as you're doing this, kind of like, ooh, didn't quite mean to do that. You're kind of like putting out the edges of the flames around the circle, which you can't you can't reach quite all of it without risking getting inside your circle of doom that you have mapped out in your mind. But you see the effects on the well as your flames engulf, and you see like the tendrils that kind of flare up and fire for a bit. Roll your damage in the chat. And so while this like vastly impressive inferno of the fireball engulfs that small circle in that area, and you set the building on fire, you're watching this kind of like green spectral form, and you expect it to just erupt in flames, and you're a bit underwhelmed. You're like, okay, yeah, I did damage to it, and it's recoiled within the confines of the well, so you can barely see any greenish glow anymore. But you expected a nice big blaze on that thing, and you didn't get it. So you think it's resistant to fire. But
Hmm.
but you got it pretty good. Got the building really good. And, it's kind of street cleanup, the cleansing power of fire.
Yes.
Make a wisdom saving throw, Kai.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Wait, 17, that's nice. What do you guys want to do now?
guess make his way south before the burning building burns down.
Yeah, let's get.
Yeah. Kai's tapped it down, so there's like a 50-50 chance it'll burn itself out and it won't catch to a larger blaze. So you all make your way south. Use the ladder to climb off the building.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoop. Okay, so you're in the street, and Sygus motions. The blacksmith is just to the west of you.
I'm assuming that the blacksmith is going to lead the way in.
Yeah, he leads you to the front door. It has been knocked in. And
course.
he's like, I was afraid of this. The dead have been here. Likely Brossfeather's influence. Let's hope he cannot give detailed instructions. And the machinery is intact. So he leads you into the large, it's 2 rooms. And the larger one is the front room. And I'm pulling out another map. Okay.
Okay, so I guess first thing is we need to make sure there's no in here, and then we need to barricade the door. Or the other way around, but you know.
So everything's dark. The forges at this point are cold. There's 2 of them in the northwest quadrant of this very large room. And there's various tables, like work tables, racks for displaying wares that have been knocked over, various boxes and barrels and storage that have been displaced. You do see that high on one wall there is a very, very large broadsword that has been mounted, or like a falchion, and then there's a very large, like a heavy shield, and they're still mounted in place, but it looks like the contents of the shop have been somewhat picked over, like a lot of things were maybe grabbed because there's not a lot of inventory. But these things were mounted so high on the wall that like people couldn't just run in and grab them, trying to arm themselves in the like last days before things really went bad, or as everybody was going for cover. There's machinery on the eastern side of the room, like a collection of pistons and pipes and gears. There is like a little hallway leading to the back, and so I guess like that's where the cistern is, the water, my living quarters, my personal space. And you also notice that like there's several where there would have been mounted torches on the wall. Those are all dark, so it's very dim light in here. You don't hear any sound of movement other than your group. But some of these torches have been like, the mounts have been dislodged from the stone walls. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to tell you about this space? Oh, the machinery to the east. Well, you can't really pick out much beyond there's machinery to the east. You need a little bit more light. And Sygus, he starts to kind of like feel his way because he's most familiar with this place. So he moves across the room towards like one of the torches that's still mounted, and you see him like light it with physical fire. So there's like a little bit of dim light that comes into this space, but you can't see very well. And he kind of like speaks over his shoulder. Can you help me get the lights on?
Is there
So
a place to build a bonfire? Is there a fireplace or something?
Well, there's the forges.
I can do a cantrip for bonfire.
Oh, you mean you're taking Kai's stuff?
Let me have one thing.
Okay, I get my sword out because it's got light on it.
We could put a bonfire in the middle of the room, I suppose. The forges, they'll need to be properly lit. I guess a bonfire is a start, and he kind of points you towards the one that's on the western wall, the larger one. It has a bellows on it, and he's like, "Well, you could start a fire there." But I was thinking more about the torches, the
Yeah.
on the walls, the mounts, the normal lighting.
We could light everything off of the.
Appreciate, Kay. Thanks.
Okay, while you're sorting out light, can I see anything that I can use to like board up the doorway, or is the door still in place and it's just been opened?
It's been knocked off of its hinges. It still seems mostly intact,
Okay.
but it's going to need a little bit of repair to
Yeah.
close
So
it
I
up
have
again.
So if I create the bonfire, it has to. I have to concentrate, and it's a duration of up to 1 minute. So I mean, we could just put one on the floor and grab torches and light them in it, I guess.
Okay. So the walls, everything in this room is, because it's a blacksmith, has been made out of stone for the most part. I mean, there's a few like some of the tables and wooden racks are wooden, but everything else, it's stone and very fire repellent. Thankfully, since there might be burning buildings outside.
Yay.
And you set the bonfire, and people grab a couple torches. Cherish gets one, and everyone starts moving around the perimeter of the room, and you light what torches are still mounted on the walls, and it gives you like a fair amount of not bright light, but it's like low light, um, good enough to see within like about 10 feet of where you're working. Once you get to the center, once the bonfire, that minute passes and your bonfire peters out, the center of the room is kind of dim, but around the perimeter, it's fairly bright enough to work on. At this point, Sygus goes to his machinery and he starts inspecting it. He moves to a crank on the left side of the machinery and starts to pump it up and down. Gears move. You hear the push of air through the pipes, and you see a piston. It raises and lowers forcefully. But as it comes down, where you would expect to hear like some kind of connecting sound, some kind of like clink clank of it's getting work done, the machine stalls and there's silence. Sygus curses. He says, "Damn it." He drops prone, lying on his chest, and he searches beneath this disappointing piston within the machinery. He reaches in one arm, kind of searches for a moment, and he scoops out something. And then pulls his fist back, and he's holding something in it. And he stands and he shows you his discovery. It's fragments of a large pearl that has been crushed. And he looks at you and he asks, "Have you heard of a pearl of power?"
Have we?
Have you? Anyone who wants to can make an Arcana check.
Oh well, that will go well. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, even Yelena's heard of a pearl of power.
Yeah, Terel's still looking at the door.
Terel's just shrugging. Terel's like really concerned about like getting this front door back, so she's like looking for fragments of wood. She's like jiggling the door hinges. In fact, you're trying to like put the door back on its hinges, Terel. So, do you have any proficiency with any kind of tools?
I'm gonna say probably not.
Dead silence. Some dead silence.
Am I not?
I mean, I don't know why you would not necessarily have proficiency with any kind of tools, but I can't remember.
It don't look like it.
Okay. So you could do like either a strength check to see if you can like jam like a bolt back into a hinge to like get this door to reattach, or you could try some kind of dexterity saving throw to see if you could like jiggle something the right way.
Let me try strength. That'll do. Hopefully, it's my best roll so far.
All right. So you like managed to while you're getting distracted, not really paying attention to this pearl of power question, you're busy, kind of like pounding a bolt from the fallen part of the door back into its hinges, and you manage to get it back in there with just like your gauntlet, like bang, bang, bang it, and then you like move the door a little bit, and you're like, it seems to open and close now. You still think like, oh, I probably need to reinforce it, but hey, we have a door. That's nice. And while you're doing this, Yelena and Kai are paying attention to what Sygus is on about. And Yelena's like, yeah, I've heard of a pearl of power. You know that that's a thing, that it can store magic. You know that much. Kai, you have distinct ideas about pearls of power. Like you have like an idea in your head about how they might be made, how they could be constructed, how like things that are certain materials are capable of being primed with the power of the weave, or alternate to weaves, if you're into that kind of stuff. But you know that a pearl of power is basically a gem that has been enchanted to hold a piece of the weave so that like a person could call on that magic at some later time. And so you give out this definition. And Sygus nods. That exactly. My machine worked along those lines. A little bit of the weave captured in a jewel, allowing the magic stored there to be excess as needed at a later time. I had the mechanics configured to store enough energy to power a fabrication spell. And Kai, you're kind of like, ooh, because that's a pretty powerful spell. Like, you're like, I can't cast fabrication. And Sygus is like, yeah, I know. Like, it would have helped speed things tremendously. As you know, that fabrication is a spell that it's like, I think, a transmutation spell that allows you to take raw materials and craft things within a very abbreviated period of time. So Sygus shakes his head in disgust. He says, my machine was not a secret. This was not the work of a clumsy zombie. This is sabotage. So Terel, you return from your work at the door. You're like, hey, I got the door working. And Teresa's is like, well, that's nice. Great.
Hey,
Good.
we might need that.
And she's like, that's really nice. We needed a door. And Good Boy's like, arf! And Polton Gray is just kind of just gives you like a shit-eating grin. He was watching the whole time. And everyone else catches you up about this like pearl of power business.
All right. So obviously, I don't know magic stuff, but does this mean? Do you have a spare? Can we create a spare? Will it stop us making anything else?
It makes the work a lot slower. We could have sped up some of the crafting if we had it at our disposal. I don't suppose any of you have a ridiculously expensive gem in your pockets. That
Do we? Hang on, I feel like we have.
We have got some sort of gems. Huh?
I feel like Kai took all the expensive stuff.
What are you trying to
Just
say?
saying. Just saying.
well, I
Um,
think Terel only carries the heavy stuff
Yes.
that Kai can't carry.
So what have we got?
Yeah, I don't think I have any gemstones.
We've got a gold ring set with bloodstones. We've got a silver necklace with the gemstone pendant. That's stuff we found while we've been here. Kai's got
I have a box of turquoise animal figurines for some reason. Art objects. Turquoise. Does turquoise count?
agate, which it says is small, so I'm going to guess that's no good.
He looks at the turquoise statues.
I
What's
have-
the value of the turquoise statues?
250 gold pieces.
Not quite enough. He's like, I
Ah.
need something that's like at least 1,000 gold.
I have a ruby.
Ooh, how big of a
Ooh.
ruby?
It doesn't say. It weighs. Oh, it weighs 0.04. I'm not sure if I want to tell you how much gold it's worth.
I'm going to guess that's a lot.
Is it more than 1,000 gold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that will work nicely.
Kai's like, no, but I don't want you to have it.
Let me see if I've got something else. Hang on.
Yeah. Any other valuable items? Any treasures?
I have 3 wizard's hats.
Anything
I don't know
encrusted? I think those are
Why.
wild
The
plants.
flowers. Yeah. I do have something. A bag of hard candy gems. Does that mean they're gems or are they sweets?
I want to say, I thought
They're
they were
sweeties.
sweets.
They're boiled sweets.
Damn. Can I fool him with one? Do they look like gems?
I think he'll notice when it doesn't work.
You know, like magic is magic, and the magic will not
Yeah.
be fooled. So if the goal is to enchant a new gem to speed up your crafting, the candy isn't going to cut it. It'll be
Okay.
sweet, but it won't cut it.
Right, okay, so if I give him the ruby then, I'm thinking we're going to get some stuff out of this when he gets his machine working.
All goes well. But you give him the ruby.
Uh-huh.
Kai reluctantly loosening his grip because it's so very expensive. And he's not made of money, Kai. And Silga says, perfect. It will take me an hour to inscribe the needed runes on the surface, but that's enough time for everyone else to help prepare the forge.
Okay.
So he starts ticking off jobs. He's like, okay, we fixed the lights pretty well. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 you could maybe, but he gestures at you, Terel. Maybe you could punch that one that's dangling off the wall and get that one back into the wall. You did such a good job with the door.
Terel nods and walks over to the torch.
She's just like punching torches.
Yep.
Let's make another strength check. And he's like, write the tables, see what alchemy supplies and metal I have left. All right, you punch a torch into the wall. It's
Hey!
brute force.
I found my calling.
This is like how Terel puts together the IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, just punch those pegs into the wall, into the sides. So he like encourages everyone to like write the tables, search out what alchemy supplies and raw metal you might have. He says, make sure we have water, fill the tubs for when so I can cool things in between forging. There's a cistern in the back room. The well, hopefully we don't need that well since it had that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, there is a cistern in the back room. So hopefully that's fine.
I guess we go check that.
And then we do need to start fires on both forges. And so that's just piling wood, and Yelena could probably use wood for spells. What's the wood is in place. That bonfire you did earlier should do the
Yep.
trick to get the fire started.
Yep. I'm assuming that if I have to concentrate to keep it going, but it says it burns anything that's flammable. So
Yeah, so once you get it started,
Started.
it's just kind of like getting the base fire started.
yeah.
So it might take you 1 or 2 cantrips worth, but you should be
It's a
able to.
cantrip.
Yeah, you should be able to get both of the base fires going in the 2 forges.
Yep.
And then Sygus, he kind of gets this a little bit of a sheepish expression. One thing about the front door, we might need someone to go outside for a while. That's actually a downside to restarting the artifice engine. Powering up a new gem takes extra effort. That means turning the muscle mill outside until we get the machine started. Normally I'd use oxen or a draft horse, but Brossfeather slaughtered anything that could power an escape early on in his assault. Terel, I think you may be the only one of us strong enough to, no pun intended, pull this off.
Okay.
We need at least one other person outside to guard.
That would be my thought.
Terrell's not going to be. I mean, she's not going to be able to fight off an attack.
So those
Not
are
if
the
I'm
tasks.
yeah.
So there's one task is searching for supplies within the shop itself. Another is making sure there's water out of the cistern. We're going to pretend that Yelena's already started the fires in both forges, because that's like auto cantrip stuff. And then there's going to be how you're going to handle the muscle mill. But leaving you with those thoughts, let's take a little adventurous break.
Hooky cookie.
Yes.
Back
Okay.
soon.
All right, walk those doggies. I'm back.
Hello.
Where are you?
My cat Jasper is so disappointed. I got a new chair this week, and it is ergonomic and does not have a cat friendly back like the old one.
Oh.
Oh.
So he tried to jump up and perch on it just now, and he's like, "It is now only a centimeter wide, Mommy. I don't like it." So he's sitting on me instead to teach me a lesson. He's a really good boy, but he's going to need to get down. Dude, we're playing D&D. I need some arms. Yeah, he's not moving.
No.
Is Ken back?
I'm here.
We're
Just
all
got
back. So everybody's back, but there's one cat too many. Hey, are you going to be a good boy? I'm gonna have to brutalize him and put him down on the floor. I got the look. Welcome back. I think everybody is physically, if not emotionally, prepared, except for my cat Jasper. So, back to the blacksmith. Who wants to hunt around for alchemy supplies and miscellaneous whatevers?
I do. Always.
Okay, then do an investigation check. 21. Nice.
Mm.
Sorry. I didn't mean to push the talk just so I could cough in your ear holes. That
I
was
do that.
the opposite of what I intended to do. So Kai, you go hunting around. And you find a couple things.
I always worry when you laugh before you say things like that.
Sometimes I love how I forget things. So various and sundry things. You find a whole bunch of stuff. Not only you find like 150 gold worth of alchemy supplies.
Cool.
So I'm adding that to the party inventory. You find 2 ingots of cold iron. You find a diamond worth 300 gold.
Oh, well, I'll keep that.
You find some mithril ore.
Mm.
And you find some odd change. A couple platinum pieces. Some gold, some silver. A few coppers. You can put it in your pocket.
Coolio.
But while you're doing this search, you're thinking about useful stuff. And you have a eureka moment. Because you know how to make acid-resistant potions. You learned that from old Drusel Liadon back in Rushfair, of how to make an acid resistance potion out of Lemon's Bane. And you start thinking about the strange firebird that the group encountered in Amelia Monitas's tower back in Succumber. And you remember that Terel got a feather off of that creature. And you start to hypothesize that you could maybe use that feather in the place of Lemon's Bane, and you just might be able to make a potion of fire resistance instead. And that, your brain just starts spinning and churning. You recall that, oh yeah, there was also that tree. You got those azure larch leaves off of that tree in Amelia Monitas's greenhouse. And those can substitute for any one needed component when crafting a rare or uncommon item. Maybe that'll be helpful. You could make any kind of resistance potion with that kind of stuff lying around. But then with the 21, you realize, hey, you might just already have the kind of stuff you need to make a potion of necrotic resistance. Between the necrotic ichor you have, and you think you might need to off-play that, though, to get this to work. Rather than just one item, you might need something else that balances out the decay in this combination. So like a potion of healing, or something like the those chicken wings that you got from the druid way back when. That kind of thing. Mystical chicken wing or a healing potion combined with necromantic ichor would work to make a potion of necrotic resistance.
Okay.
The only downside you can see in this is that it would normally take you 2 days to make a potion of resistance. You're not sure how much like getting this forge sped up is going to help you. But an assistant would definitely make it doable in a day. the 2 days is you working alone.
Okay.
So Kai, you've done your job. Who's going to check the cistern?
I'll do that.
Yelena is tending the fire.
Yep.
She's like, I've got one job, and I'm going to do it. Besides, Kai can't be trusted with fires at this point.
No.
Might get carried away.
True.
So you make your way back to the cistern in the back room. And I'm just gonna like move you or move the map a little. So Kai's back here, and you see like how this has been set up, because normally a cistern is kind of outside. I mean, it's got to have like the rainwater and stuff falling down to collect into this area, because they aren't always dug deep enough to act like a well and touch on groundwater. They're more like a collecting thing. But you look up and you see that there is a kind of not quite a skylight in the roof, but it is basically an opening that has been covered with chain link to bar entry. But it has enough openings that rainwater can come directly down into these openings. But you see that the grill that's also covering the water containers of the cistern, there's debris on the top of them. And
On top of the water containers.
yeah, on top of the water containers, kind of like covering your view of what's inside.
I sweep it off.
You start sweeping it off, and you're like, oh, it's like a mess of like crap and debris, leaves and weeds and things. Like it was like left in place, and there seems to be like maybe some fabric that has been stuffed in here. Like maybe somebody did a very rapid job of trying to block these cisterns so that they wouldn't take in more water.
Okay.
You can do another check to see if you can use your newly found mechanical strengths.
Strength check then, yeah.
Strength check. See if you can just basically forcibly remove. All right, so you punch it, and it doesn't respond to your punching. You think it's going to take something else, like maybe some kind of tool or tinkering with it to try to get this covering off of the cistern.
Okay, I'm looking.
You're like, brute force might still be an answer, but you might just need like some kind of tool to amplify
got
your
it.
strength.
Would a crowbar help? I do have a crowbar.
Okay. Yeah, I was just looking.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got one.
That sounds like a tool that's used for prying things open.
Okay, let me.
Then I wander back out and grab a crowbar off Yelena.
Elena's, yo, your crowbar.
Yo!
So you can try again with a crowbar and have advantage.
Oh yes.
So
Hey.
yeah, definitely. This time with Yelena's handy dandy crowbar, you like slip the curved end underneath the rim of the covering on the cistern, and you give it 1-2 good pushes, kind of finding exactly what direction you want to push with the full power of your mighty arms. And then you make up your mind and just push forcefully down, and the lid just pops right off, goes flying across the room. And then you look down into the cistern and you see there's water collected in the bottom. It's a bit far down. You're going to need a bucket to pull it out, but there's several feet, and it does look like it's clean enough. And it doesn't have to be crystal clean for the purposes of forging. You just don't want it to be like filled with like old boots and gunk and stuff.
Mm.
You want it to be able to like cool things. That there seems to be a decent amount of water in the cistern. You're not quite sure how much that Sigus needs, but there's definitely several tubs worth. So you set to start using the pails, and you like go and fetch like one of the copper tubs that's used for like dousing things as they're getting worked to kind of like cool them off before to set them and things like that. And you fill a couple tubs worth of water and bring them back, lug them back to the forges where Yelena is faithfully keeping them bonfired.
Okay. Thanks for the loan of the crowbar.
Absolutely.
I pass it back.
So about 20 minutes have passed throughout these activities. And throughout this time, Sigus has been, he's pulled out some tinkering tools and some chisels, and he's been laying out his hammer and his tongs and all of his smithing tools. And Cherish has been writing like the work tables and benches and shelves and trying to like put some order into things, kind of waiting until Kai has finished searching through everything, and once he gave her the all clear, she's like putting things together. Polton Gray just seems to be kind of sharpening his daggers, and watching over everything. He picks up maybe one dagger that's fallen down. He gives it a little look, flips it in his hand like he's trying to decide whether or not to keep it, and then he'll like just puts it on one shelf and then looks around like, well, I did something. And Good boy's just kind of like circling the room. He's like looking around, watching what everybody's doing, and he's wagging his tail. He's pretty excited about the activity, and he's looking for things to get done. He's getting more and more excited. And then after he's expected all this and you've come back with the tubs of water, he sits over by the forges next to where Yelena is working. And Sagas turns to you and says, Terel, I think it's time to decide how you want to proceed.
Okay.
It's going to
Whereabouts
take
is it?
several minutes. It is just outside the front door to the east. We passed it on the way in.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
So yeah, it's that turning wheel. I'm not sure exactly what the technical name for it. I think it's a muscle mill is what it's called. Google, since Google doesn't really work anymore, was no help in identifying what the technical term for that.
I'm just getting people's gyms.
Turny wheel thing. It's a spinny thing. It's a pushy thing. It's going to take roughly, I hope you're up for this. It's going to take half an hour of pushing.
Looks like it's horse mill.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because normally it's like a horse or some kind of draft animal pulling.
Yeah.
In a circle. I guess they were used maybe to mill grains or something rather than using a windmill.
Most frequent use was for grinding grain and pumping water.
Aha!
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is more of the pumping water variety, I think. But it's like magically enchanted water.
Would it be helpful if Polton helped Terel? If we had two people on it, and then I can stand out. I can get up on the roof and keep watch. So they're safe.
Paulton hears this and he like holds out his arms. He's like, he kind of like gestures. He's like very lanky, skinny. Like he's got about the same build as Kai when it comes to brute strength. I can keep watch, but I don't think I'll be much help with the pushing. I can push my luck, but that's about it.
So I guess. So what needs to happen on the inside while the mill's turning?
Well, once we get there's a certain phase where I'm going to need assistance, probably from Kai, maybe from Cherish. The alchemical fire is the one I need help with. I'm going to need to have it to charge it with some magical energy to get it properly started. But that's not until at least halfway through.
Okay, so we can, if some of us are outside, that is a good thing. Keep an eye on the mill.
Otherwise,
Keeping
we'll
them-
just need someone to tend the fires.
I can do that.
Yeah,
Kai
we'll let Kai tend the fires. I will go outside. I will fly up onto the roof, just to keep watch over the mill and keep an eye out in the surrounding areas.
Okay. So let's move you to like kind of like here-ish, like you're standing on the edge of the building.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's going to involve like strength checks.
Yes.
Then I would like to eat my dire bacon.
Okay. Remind me what dire bacon does.
When you consume this food, you have advantage on strength, and then it says in brackets athletics checks for 8 hours.
Ah, excellent.
In addition, if you take then 10 damage or less, that would reduce you to 0 hit points. I'm really hoping this doesn't happen. You are reduced to 1 instead.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got advantage on strength checks while doing this. I better get rid of that then. I only had 1. Okay. Dire bacon eaten.
So I basically I need you to keep the mill in motion for half an hour. I can send out Cherish or Kai or myself will run out. It will tell you to try to keep you informed of how the progress is coming and tell you when you can stop. And if you need
Another
to
question.
speed up or slow down, anything like that.
Right. Is this going to make a lot of noise?
Well, yes, there is always that. The activity, you're going to be out somewhat in the open. You are going to need to keep an eye out for anything undead.
I'm wondering if we can oil it to reduce the sound.
Oh yes, we can certainly. Do you have oil?
I'm sure
I've
one
got
of us has
oil.
oil.
Did
I've
you
got oil.
find oil in my supplies?
Kai's got some oil, just in general.
So lubricate. Actually, you found a lot of alchemy supplies.
Mm-hmm.
We like subtract about 5 gold of alchemy supplies. That could be like WD-40.
Well,
The fantasy equivalent.
You've got a flask
something
of oil.
called wondrous oil.
Oh, you want to put wondrous oil on it?
Well, I don't know.
What does it say? It does so.
This oil shimmers with a faint blue light and is warm to the touch.
That is definitely a lubricant.
Oh, but I do have a flask of oil as well. So let's use that
I was about
instead.
to say, if you wanted to sacrifice the wondrous oil, that would be much appreciated, and it would certainly make it easier to turn.
I thought we always got like a kit of something that had oil in it, but I was looking at Tinderbox only has like dry cloth soaked in light oil for kindling.
Well, I've got a flask of oil which contains a thick and heavy black unguent which is sticky to the touch. That might not work. I don't know.
That might help a little. I'm looking at your inventory. I want to make sure what this oil
I want to know
is.
what the chuff wondrous oil is now. That sounds like it's dead good.
Is it just a flask of oil?
Yeah, just flask of oil, it says. I don't know where I got it from. Or the wondrous oil, I have to add.
I think you looted the wondrous oil off of something.
Well, what else could it be used for? Do we think there's something
You're
more
well aware.
useful?
You think the wondrous the wondrous oil. There's some kind of. It could probably be used in some kind of alchemy crafting. You just
Alright.
haven't figured out a way to use it yet.
Alright. Well, if we can get away with using the flask of oil, then I'd say we use that.
I'm not finding your flask of oil.
Definitely there.
I can see it in the party sheet. So
Oh, it's in the party sheet?
yeah, but it's under
my
Kai's though.
inventory.
Oh, it's in the list of stuff that you guys have that's in the party sheet. Okay.
Yeah, it just says 1 flask of oil, Kai.
I'm taking too much time looking at it, looking for it. Oh. Yeah, you're like, it does seem sticky. It seems like slippery and stuff. Do an insight check. Or an investigation check. Investigation is probably more appropriate for this, Kai. You think that is the fantasy equivalent of WD-40
So it'll do,
with a
do
23.
the job.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it'll do the job.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll quickly run it out to Terel then and delete it from my inventory.
All right. So you
Do-
oil up the wheel, and so not only does it improve the stealth of turning the wheel, but it also will lower all the checks I make Terel do by 1.
Cool.
Excellent.
Because that was actually an unidentified potion, oil of slipperiness. Which is why I was having such a problem finding it.
Mm.
All right. So remind me. Okay, so Terel is outside. Yelena's outside. Where is Terel?
I moved outside.
Oh, you're back in the cistern. I was looking for your avatar thing.
No, I moved myself outside and now I've moved again. What?
That's weird.
I put myself back outside.
Yeah, you're back outside. Now,
Terrell looks around confused.
are you like forcing? Say forcing. You were encouraging Polton Gray to do something, and he's like, "I'm not strong."
That's not the point. I just need some help keeping it moving. I'll do the heavy lifting.
Okay, so he'll come outside.
Just think of it as your workout for the day.
He's like standing on the fringes here, and as you like push it, and like one of the little things pass by, he just kind of like pats it with one hand, like. He's like,
When I go past him, I'm going to reach out and cuff him round the head.
I'm helping you get movement. Do you want to roll an attack roll?
Yeah.
Okay, roll an attack roll.
Do I just do a d20 or do I do like my bow blade attack or something?
Are you attacking him with your bow blade?
No, I was just going to whack him round the head. That's all.
Otherwise, I would do I would just do your normal because I think your forceful longsword is plus to hit too. You're like hitting him with you're like punching him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be your proficiency. Wait, you're not proficient.
Plus 7?
Just your strength. So 20 plus your strength. A d20
20 plus my
your
strength. Which is my strength check or my strength save or my actual strength?
Your strength modifier. So like what? Plus 4?
Plus 4.
So roll a d20.
Alright, I did. And it's not coming up in the thing, but I rolled a 14.
I'm wondering if we're not having connection issues between your avatar movement and that not showing up. But try
Do you want me to
rolling
restart
again.
Fantasy Grounds? Okay. I rolled a 15 that
No.
time.
But it's not
Didn't
showing
see that.
up. You might need to
No.
reconnect to Fantasy Grounds.
All right, I'll come back.
I think you're out of sync.
If I roll crap this time, I will not be happy.
Okay. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I can tell you guys? Do you have any questions, concerns?
I don't think so.
I always have concerns.
Mm.
Let's see if Terel can move herself. She moved again when she reconnected.
Well, at the moment, I'm waiting for my character selection to come up. There we go.
Yeah, it just clicked in that you're logged in.
Definitely being slow. Okay. All right, I've moved again.
Oh no. Oh, I see you moved yourself now.
All right, okay. There we go. D20.
Coolio, you have moved. Yay, I can see you rolling.
I rolled an 18,
see?
even better.
That's right. So +4 so 28 too. You
Yes.
pop Polton Gray upside his head. Is it wow? Oh, do a that's like 5 damage. So you do 5 damage to him.
Okay.
Like, ow! What?
I point to the opposite bar.
So he like moves over here, and let's say like put you there. So you guys are in opposite. And now he has both hands on a bar now, and he's walking, and he's like, he's pushing. Maybe he's not like giving it as his all. He's not, pushing it to the extent that you are pushing it, Terel. And he's just not capable because of his strength. But he's towing the line more and putting a little bit of force in. You can feel like a slight teeny bit of the weight
Okay.
of pushing this thing has been taken off. So you start to get it turning. And Sygus is looking out the front door. He sees that you have started it turning. And as he does it, he like does his last little etching on the ruby that he got off of Kai. And he's like, okay, everybody take your positions. And he goes back in and he's like putting the ruby where it needs to, in the slot where the pearl used to be. And then you see like Cherish comes back out. She's like, okay, still turning. Just keep turning it right at the speed that you're turning it. Really good. See you in a few minutes. And then Kai, you're inside. You see that Sygus has started pumping the lever to the left of the machinery again, working in tandem with the mill pushing outside. And you see the pistons are starting to move up and down, the gears turning. There's a sound of steam coming from the machinery on that side of the room as the process begins of restarting this alchemical engine. You're just like doing what are you doing to keep the fires going, Kai?
Just prodding and poking, maybe. Moving things about in the fire and distributing it and whatnot. Adding more wood or coal, whichever is used.
Throwing a few fireballs?
Yes, that too.
Super effective. Terel, you are pushing the mill. Pretending you're a horse.
Yeah.
And after about 5 minutes has passed, do a stealth check.
Uh-oh. I
With
haven't got it. Right.
with advantage.
Ooh. Oh. I saw the bad one, not the good one.
Wait, there was a good one?
Oh, no.
That's
No, sorry.
Because
disadvantage.
you rolled it with disadvantage. But
Oh,
you know
crap.
what? It did you push the advantage button before you rolled?
Yeah.
I think you just rolled a 7 because so
It's
you have disadvantage because of your armor,
because of my armor, yeah.
and it canceled out the advantage, so it's just a
Advantage,
straight
yeah.
roll. So you rolled a 6 though, so it did not help you in this instance. Yelena, make a perception check.
Let me do that again. I don't think that went through.
All right, Yelena, you look around. You see, kind of like in the distance, you see a single zombie is slowly attracted to the noise and is wandering your way, but it's a good 200 feet away.
I can drop him.
Yes, you want to shoot the zombie?
Yes, I do. All right. What should I do?
Let me put a zombie on the map. So you can do like from a distance. Attack that dead boy. So this is not actual distance, but it gives you something to target. Zombie. Slowly coming down the street from the east. Oh, that bless is expired by now, but still, it's a zombie. You totally hit it. Taking off the bless.
Does it stop him a little bit? At least. Oh, I get another shot, don't I?
Yeah, you do get another shot. I'm taking the bless off of you too, Terel. Because you're special, but you're not blessed anymore. That has expired.
Shucks.
So you've done how much damage? You've done like 15 damage or so to this zombie.
Mm-hmm.
It's still walking, but the thing is so far away. It's still like 170 feet away, so you can just keep taking pot shots at it.
Yeah.
So let's just say you're just letting arrows fly. So say take off like 2 more arrows. With another round, you've shot this zombie enough so that it is out of the picture. Now, Terel, you have been pushing for like 5 minutes at this point. Or let's say 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, make a strength check.
And I've got this with advantage.
No,
Yeah,
you
because
do
I
because
do
of the
the dire
Darbacon.
bacon. Yeah.
The Darbacon.
Whew.
All right, with the 19, no worries. Your strength is holding out. Your arms are not getting tired. You're keeping a steady pace. And Cherish pokes her head out through the front door. She gives you guys a thumb up. She's going well. Everything's progressing. And then dips back inside the space. Make another stealth check.
Stealth.
Wait,
he's giving me disadvantage because I've got the heavy armor.
Yeah, but it would have been one roll, and I don't know whether you rolled a 3 or an 18 for the first one.
Yeah, so I rolled 2 dice, and the 18 was the first one that he dropped because of the disadvantage.
Hey, can you like re-roll and give yourself advantage when you do it?
Okay.
So that time you got a 12. Quieter, you're starting to learn how to move with your armor and you maybe like try to like get a little bit of that oil of slipperiness that Kai put on the center of this mill, and try to put in some of the hinges on your armor to like quieten it up a little bit. So you're making less noise than you were before. Yelena, make another perception check.
I see all.
Ooh, I'm glad it's a good thing I'm not drinking today.
Yeah.
You look around. You don't see any more zombies. The streets seem fairly clear from your vantage point. It's a little bit eerie and unnerving. You notice, like, to the west, the street, rather than proceeding like really further in the town, it's kind of more on the fringes of the town, and the road descends toward the riverbank to the west, and the river is bounding this part of Zelbras to that side. And you see that there are troughs where the road meets the river, and you think that these were used to harvest the porcelain clay that this town would collect, that they used in their artisan crafts to make valuable porcelain objects, before everything went topsy-turvy. And these troughs, they're kind of like mine carts. They're on abandoned rails that lead up the hill, like on either side where the sidewalks or where there would be sidewalks, to help with moving these heavy carts up and down the hill, especially up the hill when it's laden with clay. So you look at the water, you kind of like register these carts at the riverbank, and you just look at the dark water. It's still. But then you make out a small splash with your natural 20. A flicker of movement in the water. And you see a dark figure. Something bulbous lift out of the surface of the water. It's about 100 feet to the west.
Is it just sort of lifting up out of the water? It's not left the water yet?
It hasn't left the water. You can just tell it's like this bulbous, non-humanoid form.
Mm-hmm.
And with a 20 perception, I'll say you can figure out. I mean, you think it's like something maybe amphibious.
Mm-hmm.
Do a nature check on top of it. With a 15, you're like, it's like a giant frog. And the form moves, and you can tell it's starting to kind of swim closer, like it's coming up that incline, slowly leaving the water, and it's moving. The water's starting to really like ripple around the form as it comes into view, and it's moving, hopping. Yes, it's a frog, and it's hopping, but it's hopping almost in a glumph sort of movement. Not with the spring of a frog's leap, but more a dragging of limbs. As you see, moved maybe 15 feet closer, half out of the water, and you really get a clear perspective of this giant frog. It's undead, and it's hopping in your direction.
I'm gonna cast Biting Arrow. Make a ranged weapon attack with a bow, crossbow, thrown weapon. What is the distance? It's less than 120 feet, right?
Yeah, it's less than 120 feet.
Okay, we got it. And if it hits, and then target becomes coated in thin frost until start of next turn. If the target uses reaction before the start of the next turn, it immediately takes 1d6 cold damage.
If it takes movement?
Yeah.
Okay. So you cast your spell.
Mm-hmm.
It takes movement.
We'll have to shoot it first.
Okay. Okay. It moves like 30 feet closer.
Ah! No.
No.
Sad trombone.
Sad trombone effect. Nice. All right. That was just probably a waste of a spell too, wasn't it?
I don't know. Does it say that it? How long does it last? Is it a concentration spell that lasts a certain period of time?
1 round.
Oh, it's only 1 round. Well, you have 2 attacks, so that's really
Yeah.
convenient.
All right, we'll try that again. Do I need to spell into another spell slot, you think, or?
No, I'm gonna say that you can you get to. I think it probably intends for other people to benefit from you casting the spell, but in this instance, I'll let you shoot at it twice. Even though I think this is probably technically 2 different rounds. All right, so you land with an 18 with your second arrow. All right, so your normal arrow does 8 damage, plus you get a d6 of frost damage.
Mm-hmm.
So just roll a d6 at 4 additional damage. Okay.
I need some more impressive. I need some more impressive spells, man.
Well, you have this. You have some other spells and abilities that are helpful as well.
Oh, you know what? Even better. That's a cantrip, so it doesn't cost me anything.
So you've done 12 damage to this undead giant frog. Do a history check, Elena. There's something about this that is tickling your thoughts, tickling your memory. And with a 15, it comes to you that you have seen one of these creatures before. And not too long ago. In fact, you saw a creature like this, not undead, but very much living. And it was being used as the mount of that scary, crushing wave priestess lady back when the Red Cliff Quarry was flooded by the water cultists. Frog is moving closer. Just another 20 feet. So it's about 60 feet away from the activities at the wheel now.
Well, I can try. I'm just gonna, let me look at this. Create a bonfire ground. I can do a bonfire again and put a bonfire on top of them. So it's a 5-foot cube. Any creature in the bonfire space when you cast a spell must succeed on dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 fire damage.
Okay, so you're gonna throw a bonfire at this zombie
I'm just
croaker.
gonna light it up under it.
You're just channeling your inner Kai, aren't you?
I know. I'm just trying. I'm trying to be creative rather than just shooting arrows, which may be a mistake. I'm branching out.
Everybody's so creative. Oops, I rolled. We're counting the first one, which is an 8, which is a failure. I'm assuming. So roll damage.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, this is not worth it.
You rolled a 1, But it's a very effective bonfire because this zombie frog seems to be particularly vulnerable to fire. So rather than just 1 damage, it does 2 damage.
Woo!
But it's still, I mean, this frog is pretty big.
Yeah.
And it while you've given, it's got, a couple arrows sticking out of its back and frost kind of clinging like above. There's some frost above one eye.
I'm hitting it with frost. I'm hitting it with fire.
There's like a scar
someone's got to work.
on one side. So it's got like all these different little wounds, but it's still, because of its bulk, still pretty much, just glunking towards the action. So it moves another 20 feet closer.
All right,
It's starting to veer a little bit towards you.
Can I commence shooting it again?
Sure. So you hit with a 24. You did 6 damage.
All right. And I'm going to sort of... We didn't agree any sort of signals, did we, to get somebody to come out of the house?
No, I guess you didn't really.
Shit.
And now you see that the frog is actually like kind of like about 15 feet in front of the front door.
All right, I'm gonna, of course, the door's closed, right?
It is closed.
So I'm gonna do a knock on the roof sort of frantically for them to figure out that maybe something's going on outside.
So you hear a knock, Kai. And Cherish is there kind of like at your elbow. Good Boy is there, and Good Boy goes, arf, 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 and he kind of sits up alert, and he runs up to the door, and he starts pawing at it. And Cherish looks at you, and she's like, do you want to go, or should I?
Well, I guess I'll go. You'll have to keep an eye on the fire.
Okay. Sagas, how long do we have before you need magic? He's like, ooh, another 5 minutes. Something happened.
Okay, well, I'll go out, see what I can do, and then you'll have to come and get me when I'm needed.
Kai, it's your moment.
Hey, good luck.
This should be easy.
And you open up the front door, and there's just this giant frog there. Dead frog. Good Boy runs out, and he's like,
Goodbye.
He runs right up to it.
Oh God, Good Boy.
Yeah. No, come back here.
But like, run now, everybody. I want you to roll initiatives for everybody who's outside. So like all of you guys. Polton Gray will even roll initiative as well.
Do I need to roll initiative?
Yeah, you do. You don't have to necessarily choose to do anything.
I've lost mine as well now. Where is it? There. Okay.
Rolling for Good Boy. Good Boy has a 6. Aw, Good Boy got excited, but he got slow too. He's last. So the frog gets to act first. So it lashes out its tongue at Good Boy. But it misses with a 12. Like you see the little dog the puppy just kind of dashes out of the way and then dashes, back within the square, bobbing, weaving, avoiding the slashing, gross-looking tongue that comes out of this zombie frog. And then the frog continues moving in the direction so that it's almost like it's adjacent to where you're standing, Kai. And Good Boy gets an opportunity attack. and tries to bite this giant frog in the butt. But misses. I'm not rolling very well for anybody today. So he tries to bite the frog, but the frog just moves out of the way in time to avoid the jaws of the celestial puppy. Polton Gray, it's his turn, and he looks at the giant frog, and he looks over at you, Terel, and he's like, should I keep pushing, or should I, do something?
Oh God. Do we think he'd be more use yeah, go on, see if you can do some damage to the frog.
All right, so he he steps away, he draws with hands, just takes one step, and then he pulls out his hand crossbow and shoots at the giant frog. And he does hit with a 22. But it does 5 damage. So I rolled a crappy roll. And so he starts, Polton Gray starts putting in another little arrow in his hand crossbow. Yelena.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Do some more shots. Yeah, it's like Gus and Lauren, I should just be shooting things, because...
Just shoot all the things.
Shoot all the things. Also, I guess when they're undead, they're squishy.
Not super armor. So this frog, this zombie croaker, you've done a lot of damage to it, and it seems to it's slowed down. You've done significant wounds to this thing. There's giant slashes. They're just seeping ichor. And Kai, you're like, the thing's almost done. What am I out here for?
Light it up!
Well, I was just thinking, do I go all out and do a big old fireball on this thing, or do I save my spell slots? And
Well,
do
you're thinking that they've almost decimated this zombie frog. Like, from the time you open the door, everything popped off so quickly. Like, you were just kind of at first, for a split second, eyes agog at this giant frog that is undead. And before you had a chance to blink, they've practically dropped it. So
Okay.
you're like, it's not going to take much to take this out.
I think we'll have a play with the old acid splash, see what happens. So, do I roll the save on the thing?
Yeah, sure. And it fails.
Boo.
So full damage.
Oh no, yay, sorry.
And you sizzle that zombie frog. It just collapses in this pulpy, sizzling mass under the onslaught of your acid. And Kai just kind of looks around at everybody like, I did
Take
not
the
really need to come out here for this. You had
No.
it handled.
I take a bow and I turn around and go back inside.
And Good Boy runs in front of you, and then you just kind of close the door as you go with a very firm thump. The front door closes on the lot of you guys outside. Terel, you're still turning. So roll another strength check with advantage.
Okay.
And Polton Gray, he meanders back to his position.
I look at him.
And starts pushing again. So with a dirty 20, no problems. No worries. A couple more minutes pass, and Cherish comes out. She says, "We need it a little bit faster. Just 10 more minutes."
I nod.
Well,
Yeah.
can she help? I know she's only got one arm. Is that the one-armed lady?
No, the one-armed lady
No?
you sent back somewhere.
No. Well, she's got 2 arms. She can help.
Well, she
can't
was assisting you, but if you want to tell her to like go out and
I'm okay with the fire. She can go out and help. You go out and
okay.
help.
So she comes out and she takes up a position, and she definitely does more work than Bolton Gray does. Not very strong. Certainly not, Terel level of muscle.
But she's putting in the effort.
But she wants success to happen, so she's putting in all the effort she has.
As Terel is pushing this wheel around, she's just glaring at Polton.
She's a team player. So you're back inside, Kai, and Sygus yells to you, is like, "Okay, I need you to charge the alchemical fire with some magic.
Okay.
Cantrips won't do it. I need something more powerful. Something elemental."
Okay.
Oh,
How about,
Kai's
No
speciality.
how about a lightning bolt?
Sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Light it up. Light it up.
Cool.
Straight. Just make sure you hit the forge. The one. And he's talking about the one. Let me mark it. X marks the spot.
That one. Right. So I need to do a fire lightning bolt.
Right.
That.
Yes.
Right.
So just roll your melee spell attack or your ranged spell attack for the lightning bolt in chat. It's just a DC 12. Kai, you were born for this. This is your moment.
Well, do I do the save or?
No,
Should I
it's
just do-
it's fine. Actually, your DC is 16, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not actually what I need you to roll, but hey, it's kind of weird
Well-
because that's like not that's like the spell isn't really like a ranged attack spell, but that's fine. I'm treating it like it was because this was like a to hit kind of thing rather than
Alright.
because the forge isn't going to be able to save against a spell. It's just whether or not you hit it on target.
Right. Okay. Well, the attack thing won't work in. I could do.
So you totally hit it, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You like let loose your lightning bolt. You didn't go astray. You didn't hit it to the left or the right. You hit it right in the center of the flame. And the lightning, you see it mix and swirl with the rudimentary, regular fire that's burning in that forge up till now, and it becomes charged and it begins to sparkle and with like the lightning, the flickers of lightning and sparks coming off of the flame, and you smell ozone coming out of the vents, and it seems to just kind of prickle with the magical energy that you have imbued this alchemical forge with. And you look over to Sygus, and he's pumping for all he's worth to get the engine started, and he's like, good. Now, go outside, make sure that make it go faster. We're almost there.
Okay. I'll go add my noodle arms to the mix.
I'm still looking. Do I need to? Have I seen anything?
Make a perception check.
Meh.
With a 10, you're looking around. You don't see any zombies. At least not coming from the riverside. You look back to the east. You see another one of those single zombies slowly marching from the distance. A couple 100 feet away, headed in your direction. It's slowly moving closer.
Yeah, I'll shoot it. Let's drop it.
Okay, I'm putting a little zombie
Down in the corner someplace.
in the distance. In the distance. The zombie. Lurching.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
What a day for the sad trombone to start working. That's amazing.
What a day for the special effects. The audio's great.
Yeah, it's like special effects I set up so long ago, but we've just never somehow triggered until today. So the second arrow hits. So, Yelena, you're occupied with another one of these sequences where you're just shooting all these arrows into this zombie from a distance and taking it out. Terel, you see a figure.
Uh-oh.
It's like the undead horses from before you ever reached Zelbros, when you found that crashed carriage on the side of the road. It's a bedraggled, defeated figure approaching you.
I'm sorry, but my fantasy grounds has crashed again.
That's okay. I'll just talk to you while you
Sure,
restart.
okay.
So you look around at everybody else, and nobody seems to notice anything, but this dead creature is very, very close. And you look up at Yelena, and she's just shooting arrows in the distance. And you look at this dead horse, flanks bloodied, tinged with putrescence, the head bowed, and you realize in the center of its head there is a single broken horn.
Oh no.
A unicorn, the symbol of Maliki, violated and listing your way as one of the undead. Make a wisdom saving throw once you successfully get back into
Okay.
Fantasy Grounds.
I'll let you know when he's back.
I was like, I wish I had some more talking. So, Yelena, you're shooting at that zombie. You've taken it out now. You're looking around. You don't see anything. Terel is still pushing in a circle, but she's kind of looking around. Everybody else is working. Kai is on the lookout. Or like, Kai, you were just supposed to come outside and tell them to move faster.
Well, Kai decided he was gonna help push to make it go faster.
Kai's helping push.
Yeah,
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Kai, make a strength check.
Compared to this dude that's doing jack shit, Polton Grey,
Uh-oh.
you know, hang on.
Okay, that's you, Terel. A 9 for Terel's wisdom save. And an unnatural 1 for Kai's strength check, which is pretty symbolic of Kai's strength. So you really try. You're like really trying to move, but you like push really hard against one bar, and you think you sprained your wrist. And you like rear back, and you like grab your wrist, and you're like, ow! I need that to cast spells. Ow! So you kind of like step back because you're like, this labor thing is obviously not good for you.
Not for me.
No, but you tried. You tried really hard.
Yeah.
So, Terel, this figure comes closer. It's approaching. It's something foul and fearful. You feel a wave of despair, and that despair cancels out the effect of the dire bacon. So you're back to like normal strength checks because the vision of this undead unicorn has shaken you.
Okay.
What are you doing? Is there anything else you're doing?
I don't see anything.
You don't see anything.
Is this all imaginary? I guess.
Yeah, no one else sees anything.
I'm going to drop my last divine sense. Is it actually there, or am I imagining things?
Let me check something. You sense something, but it's not undead. You sense a fiendish presence. Make another wisdom saving throw, but this one with advantage. Because you have sensed that there's something up with what your eyes are showing you. So this time you roll a natural 19 for a total of 21. And bolstered by your divine senses, as you look at this sight of this profanity of the symbol of purity and the high forest protection in front of you, and you see it's something really truly, it is fiendish in front of you. It's coming closer, and as soon as you feel like you have to spring into action, what's approaching, what's in front of you, you hear a soothing voice in your head, soft and firm, and it says, "Persevere, Terel. You understand that appearances can be deceiving, but you don't always look in the right direction." Suddenly, what you sensed as a fiend in front of you whirls. It's right behind you. And you whirl around just in time to see Brossfeather's dark mount materialize out of the ether as it's rearing to trample you. But you are able to dodge out of the way because you sensed its presence. The vision is no longer of a unicorn that is dead. The nightmare that belongs to Brossfeather fades out of sight, knowing that it's missed you, knowing that it's been caught out. It drifts back into the ethereal plane. And in its place, in front of you, you feel something almost celestial, a little bit fey. And the vision of the dead unicorn has become pristine once more. It's the form of the unicorn Ariel that you last met in the Feywild. And you hear the voice in your head again. Not only predators use tricks and camouflage. Sometimes it's the only protection that prey has. Consider the mockingbird, mimicking his surroundings to survive. This is a lot for you, I understand, but I need you to open your eyes and your heart. And with this, a shower of brilliant green fresh oak leaves start to dance around Terel, and everyone can see this out of the blue. Just these brilliant green living oak leaves. Scents fill your nostrils, Terel, that eclipse the miasma of decay that has infiltrated Zilbros. These are smells that have only been in your memories for years. It's the grass in the shade of Oakshield's sacred tree, the wildflowers by the river Rovan, the herbal smoke piping from the chimney of your family's lodge. The vision of the unicorn shifts again to the form of a tall, lithe elven woman, a bow strapped to her back. She's wearing green leathers, not unlike those favored by your friend Yelena, still perched up on their roof, looking at the leaves. That's all that Yelena sees is the shower of leaves. This woman's form, her features form an encouraging smile for only a second before she fades into a pinpoint of blue-white light, then disappears. Now, when Yelena, you perceive the scene, you see that Terel's eyes are now rimmed in a faint golden glow. And Terel, when you look
Yes.
back at Yelena, you now see a circle, almost a halo, around her head of lavender blossoms floating around her head that you've never seen before. You have been blessed with true seeing. By your goddess Maliki.
Is that permanent?
Probably not permanent. You don't know how long it's going to last. But for now, you have been blessed with true seeing to aid you in the battle ahead.
Okay.
Now make your last strength check, but it is going to be a flat roll.
Okay. Uh,
18 is just enough. And you push this wheel. You have the assistance of Cherish, and you have the phoning it in of Polton Gray. Yelena, do you have any thoughts or reactions, at least the little bit that you saw of like the shower of leaves, and then now your party members' eyes are glowing?
I'm probably getting the sense it's not anything evil, right?
You're
This
like,
is possibly a good thing.
well, you're like, it's not that greenish fire that you saw in those, that you saw in like the flame skulls. It's not anything bad that like that you remember seeing in the past, but you can do a religion check. 17. I was like, you definitely think that this is like a celestial, this is some kind of religious blessing. Definitely good.
So I just smile real big and give Terel a big thumbs up.
You're like, I don't know what happened, but I feel like some kind of like God thing just happened.
Yeah.
And there are some cool vibes happening, given that the rest of the surroundings is really, really bad.
I grin back at Yelena. And then I want to look at Polton with my true seam.
You look at him, he's just a guy.
Okay.
He's just this guy.
He's just a guy. He still looks like a dumbass.
Right, fine.
You look at Cherish, and you do see there's like a little bit of a smoke coming off of her. But here again, like you never have gotten when your divine sense has been going. You've gotten in the past. There's that teeny twinge of fiendishness, but you've been around enough. You know that all tieflings have a little bit of that. That's just the nature of where they originated from. That it doesn't go away, but you've been around the block enough that you know that that doesn't make them evil, because there's a lot more to these to tieflings as people.
Okay.
So it's certainly not a full out fiendish presence. So the last of the time passes. Then Sygus inside, he finally steps back from pumping the machinery, holds his arms out, looks at it expectantly, and the pistons keep moving. And there's kind of these swirls of arcane energy moving around the pistons and the gears as they continue with their motion independently of any action. And he yells to Yukai, says, "Hey, you can have him stop. Come on in. It's working. We can get to work."
Woohoo.
So Kai, you go outside to call your friends in. And Terel, when you look at Kai, you see he has runic symbols in a language you don't recognize on his forehead, on his hands and his neck. Really, all of his visible skin that isn't covered by robes, they're runes. But you don't know what they mean.
Okay.
And I'm almost tempted to leave it at that, but I really want you guys to figure out what you're crafting before we end this session.
Well, yeah. I've been trying to work out what we can do. My question is, if I got silver over my bow blade, would that impact the bow blade in any way?
No. Let's say it'll be more like just a check to see successfully applying the silver. At that point, it will... I'm not sure that the silver applied to your bow blade will actually benefit it.
Right.
Because I think silver is a type of thing you can do to a weapon that is non-magical, that allows you to bypass damage resistance to certain creatures. But I think because it's a magical weapon, that you already are bypassing. So it's really something to do to a mundane weapon to make it efficient against certain undead creatures.
Okay. Then my initial thoughts are phase arrows for Yelena.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the bomb. Because of the crafting time involved. And I'm not sure we've got 4 skulls either. So I'm tempted to think arrows and holy water.
Oh yeah, Kai only picked up 3 skulls.
Yeah.
But there's some dead zombies in the road now because of Yelena shooting stuff. So I mean, you could probably get a skull.
Right. So if we could create 1 bomb then, because if it's a 20-foot radius, so if we've got a group of stuff, we could potentially. Again, I'm thinking ranged, potentially Yelena to be in charge of that. But if I can get a group of stuff, that might be handy.
Oh, and I'm going to backstory that on your way out of that other place, you did pour the 1 bottle of holy water on one of the bodies and brought the other one with you out of the flame skulls. Because we kind of talked about that, and then we just kind of left without actually saying that you definitely did that.
Yes.
Unless you don't want to use the holy water you already have.
No, because I was intending to craft some more. So the idea was to try and do, cleanse them and craft some more.
Okay. So roughly 2 hours have passed since you left the Undertakers. Which means you definitely only have a day and a half to work with. Let's see. Phase arrows is the only thing I think you've said that... phase arrows and holy water are the only things I think you've definitely said that you are making so far. You're still thinking about everything else?
Phase arrows. I still think an etheric bomb is a good idea. Just even if it's just one, if we can manage it, if it's a group of stuff.
What about the necro thing? Pop.
That vial of ecstatic renewal. I mean, again, I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose the ghostly shift could be handy for, well, for me, if I'm going to be sort of like tanking.
And one thing about that true seeing, I don't know, can you access what true seeing does? You can see into
Probably
the,
if I go find it, yeah.
you can see into the ethereal plane now. So that incorporeal shift stuff and visibility, you can see all that kind of stuff. So things cannot hide from you of that nature. So like that whole thing about how Brossfeather's nightmare kind of snuck up on you through the ethereal plane, which is why there's no sign for Yelena to really pick up on, given her lower role. That would have been totally visible to you had you had the true seeing at that point.
Okay.
So you'll be able to like track that kind of stuff. And you won't have the same disadvantage in attacking those kind of things.
Okay.
Which is kind of the same effect as something. Like, what was it? The etheric bomb kind of makes... Yeah, the ghostly
Like difficult
shift
terrain.
kind of
Yeah.
does that because I think you become...
Well, it says you resist 2 points of all damage except force.
You resist 2 points of all damage except for force, but it also partially phases you out of the material plane. So that also makes it so that was also kind of helped you hit incorporeal things. Because you're partially on the same plane as them when they go incorporeal. So not quite as effective as true seeing, but helpful towards it helps a little bit towards hitting things.
I mean, is the ghostly shift going to be any good for like Yelena and Kai then? Is it going to be beneficial for you guys to be able to do what I'm doing with the true seeing?
Well, give the resistance to some damage, that damage resistance. It'll also there's like a compromise between rather than being at disadvantage at attacking something that's invisible or in the incorporeal, it'd be like still a disadvantage, but you would add like we had like hit the +2 button. It's like a compromise between those two things.
Okay.
And then there's also the resistance potions. Is Kai considering that at all?
I mean, what resistance potions would be good against the undead?
Well, he's figured out how to make necrotic resistance and fire resistance.
Okay, well that certainly sounds useful.
Yes, I think necrotic.
Yeah, because I can give you the Firebird feather if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And I should also say that now that you have restored this alchemical machine, it halves the crafting time for anything. And then if you work together to make something, that halves it again.
What was that thing that I was going to make that took 2 days?
That was the potion of resistance.
Oh,
So
right.
at this stage, if you have someone assisting you, and I'm gonna move everybody inside. And Cherish will volunteer. She's like, I know how to use alchemical tools. Sygus, of course, knows how to use alchemical tools. They could assist you in crafting something, so it would take half a day to make a resistance potion at this point with someone.
But that's just
assisting you.
one potion for one person, yeah?
Yeah, unless he rolls a nat 20 on his Arcana check.
Okay.
In
Shall we
that
try
case,
it?
in that case, it would be a 1d4, but otherwise it's one potion.
Okay.
But that has like the necrotic or the fire damage that a person takes. So it's all like, taken into account. For your holy water, it's going to take an hour to do a holy water and a spell slot.
Okay, because we're going to have to count for some time to rest after this because of stuff we've used.
You've used a lot of resources, so I think everybody probably wants to use 8 hours for rest.
Yeah.
So that cuts it down to you have about a day and 4 hours to work with.
Okay, because I've got 5 spell slots at the moment. So that's 5 hours. Halved because I can use a machine, or halved because I can get someone to help?
Actually, the holy water is the one thing that doesn't use any of this equipment. It's all you doing rituals.
Oh, shoot. All right. So 5 hours to do 5 holy waters if you wanted it.
Yeah, so it would take you 5 hours to do 5 holy waters. You'd have to use all of your spell slots that you have left. And the thing is, you can make the holy water, but it's also a possibility that Kai could make some holy water arrows for Yelena out of that too, where he sticks a vial and arrows, and it's not just throwing it.
Nice.
So that's also an option.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And Sygus is going to do, he's going to work on whatever you would like him to work on, if there's something you want him to work on. And, I mean, the only thing that no one can, that you can't, the holy water is the only thing that no one can really help you with, because I don't think anyone else here is religious at all. Oh! Good dog.
Good dog.
Good boy can help with your holy water.
So would that reduce it to 2.5?
Yeah, it reduces 2.5, and let me look at him. Double check good boy. He could probably only make one himself per day. He's a puppy. He doesn't have big spells. It's mostly all his innate celestialness.
What? How many what?
Sorry, I was just one resistance potion from Kai. Unless you're rolling at 20.
Yeah. Am I rolling that now?
Well, I was trying to identify what you guys wanted to make, and then I was going to make you guys do some rolls.
Oh, right.
For the things that you want to make.
Alright, so the phase arrows, I'm assuming they're going to be useful for you, Yelena.
Yes.
So we definitely think them. Where I've lost them again now.
Yeah, I keep losing. Oops. I keep setting things to the side and losing them.
Where's the sodding phase arrows? I've lost them.
G.
Oh yeah, I didn't scroll down enough.
Alright, phase hours will be 1 hour of time with given assistance. Oh, and I should also say that when you have assistance, you can roll with advantage on the Arcana check. So you will have twice as many chances to roll a nat 20.
Okay, cool. So phase arrows for Yelena. And then are we going to bother with the ghostly shift, and are we going to bother with the etheric bomb? Oh, Fantasy Grounds is about to crash on me again. Oh, what the fuck is going on with this tonight?
I think it's the router. I think it's somehow like a network issue between here and the UK. But
Well,
it's
Rich is
only
fine,
affecting you,
so
Rich is
it's
fine.
yeah, it's just me. So I think this computer's dying. So
Oh,
right. So yeah, we just need to decide if we want the bomb and the shift.
or what?
And
There's an ecstatic renewal thing too.
yeah. I don't know. It's too much stuff and there's so little time. It's like trying to work out what's best to do.
Well, okay, with the so 12 hours is going to be used up making the potion of resistance. Then 1 hour for any arrow kind of things. Did I get that right?
So you'd want at least a few, wouldn't you?
And then you're gonna take 2.5 hours for your holy water. But
Yeah.
you're gonna finish with your holy water way in advance of when Kai finishes with his stuff. So after Kai finishes his attempt to make a resistance potion, you're gonna have 24 hours left. No, wait. Yeah, 24 hours left.
But we need 8 of them to rest.
And you need 8 of it to rest. So you'll have like 16 hours left. And you probably should like give maybe like another hour of cushion time to actually get to the cemetery to confront people, I guess. So is there anything else about like what people really, really want to make? Because I think you have 15 hours of crafting time left.
I mean, I'm open to whatever you guys think would be best to
Oh, wait.
take.
You make the potion and then you make some arrows. So it's like take off 1 hour for every set of arrows you try to make, whether it's like phasic or holy water.
Well, can't Rich do the holy water arrows while we're creating the phasic arrows?
Kai's busy doing the potion.
After you've done your potion.
Kai's doing the
That
potion and
takes 24
somebody's
hours.
helping him.
Right.
I don't think none of you are any of you proficient with alchemy supplies?
No.
I don't think
Apart
I
from
am.
no, it's
So
just
we've
gonna be
got
Kai.
3 people. So we can have one person working on the arrows while the other 2, like someone else is helping Kai, which means they could do 3 sets of arrows while Kai is working on his potion. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what kind of arrows do you want to make? Like how many phasic and how many holy? Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
You're doing at least 1 phasic.
We could try one of each.
Yeah. So what goes into the phasic again? Is that just silver?
I was just looking at it. My goodness. You need an incorporeal essence for every recipe you do of it. And you have, unless you've taken it out of the shared party inventory, you have 2 of those. So you could do up to 2 batches of phasic arrows.
How many in a batch?
I think it's 1d4, unless you roll a natural 20. And it'll use 20 gold of alchemy supplies each, which you have plenty of. You've got like, I think Kai has like 5 million gold worth of alchemy supplies at this point.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah, you have 6, which is worth 50 each. So you have 385 gold worth of alchemy supplies.
Yeah.
And I think the potion, the resistance potion only takes 50 gold worth. All right.
Yeah.
So let's just have you go ahead and let's do 3 rolls. One for like a phasic arrow thing, one for the holy arrows that I guess Sygus is working on those once you finish making potions. I mean, once you finish making holy water. And then another one for the resistance potion. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for Sygus to make the holy arrows. And then we'll have Kai do his 2 rolls, and then we'll call it.
Okay.
Okay, so he rolled a 16, and what did he need for... Oh. Do I know what he needed? This is a good thing to figure out. What was the roll for phasic arrows? 13. Okay, so he totally makes... He makes... Okay, he makes 2 arrows that have a little vial of holy water attached that act like throwing a vial of holy water at an undead creature. Only you have the range of one of Yelena's arrows. So I'll add 2 holy water arrows to your inventory, Yelena.
Thank you.
And you still have 3 flasks. I mean, no, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna say 4 flasks of holy water left.
Okay.
And I assume one of those can be used towards that body. You've got to
Yeah.
cleanse.
So that'll leave 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 flasks of holy water. So if you already have that holy water in your inventory, you can just up it to 4. No, wait, 3.
I'm not sure I have. Hang on. I didn't take it. Let me grab it.
All right. And then Kai, I need you to make oh wait, were you making the phase arrows? You were just working on your resistance potion, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me roll for Sygus again. And you can roll with make an Arcana check with advantage for the resistance potion, Kai.
Okay. Oh, nearly rolled a 20.
Okay, so you successfully crafted a potion of necrotic resistance. Sygus, however, failed. He biffed his phasic arrow check. He can try again. Because there's just enough time while Kai has been crafting his potion oh so expertly with Cherish's assistance.
Yeah. Then might as well, haven't we?
Yeah,
The hope
because
that we can get
you still
some.
have 1 incorporeal essence.
Oh.
Come on, bloody Sygus.
Oh, wow.
Can we say I blessed him? In retrospect. Or guidance, or
the
whichever
thing
gives
is,
him.
he needs a 13, so guidance. Wait, guidance only gives you D4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't think you can't get enough because he used a 13 and he rolled an 8.
Well, bugger.
Yeah, so that incorporeal, unless somebody looted it in their inventory, the phasic arrows have been a bust.
Okay.
Which I'm very sorry. Maybe I should have made you guys roll for that instead, and put on your Sygus pants. Because I feel like I have ruined it for you. But Kai has a potion of necrotic resistance. Yay! Yay!
Yeah, fine.
So 12 hours has passed. The sun, it's technically in the evening now. Though with the gloom outside, the overcast clouds and shade, it's hard to track day and night anymore in this place. Tired after a near full day of crafting, do you want to continue your work? Because you still have 15 hours left outside of a long rest. Or do you want to go ahead and have a long rest now?
I feel like we should just do the long rest and go
Yeah.
do the fight. I mean, obviously not do the fight now, but, you know.
Okay. Give you guys a long rest. And we will pick up next session with you guys progressing to the Northern Cemetery to confront Lord Vanyon Brossfeather. The cemetery, also known as Folly's Cemetery. And perhaps to liberate the village of Zelbras.
Maybe.
Now,
Maybe.
here's hoping you do better defending Zelbras than I did rolling for Sias, creating those basic arrows. Okay. I wish I'd been more organized in that whole, like, what do you guys want to craft situation? Because I feel like we spent way too much time.
No, it's fine.
Lost some momentum there.
It's just trying to decide what to do, innit? There's so much stuff, so...
Now, I had down for the next time we played to do it on August 10th. I think 'cause you guys had something going on the next weekend, and the 10th was better for me anyhow. Is that still cool?
Yep, it is for us.
Okay. So August 10th it will be.
Assuming it's okay with Elaine. Yeah, Yelena.
With
Kim.
Yelena.
Yes, I have it on my calendar, so we're good.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Unless there's anything else. Like, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of fighting next session.
Woo!
So put on your violence pants.
Always.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about your encounter, Terel?
I thought that were really cool.
What do you think about what you saw on Yelena and Kai?
I mean, I'm guessing with Yelena it's to do with her Fae ancestry.
Sorry, don't I smell like lavender, right? Don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But Kai, I mean, who knows? I mean, at least it didn't show fiery horns coming out of his head.
No, it didn't show. I mean, you've never sensed anything like fiend or anything untoward with your divine sense.
Kai could have lied down on some old stone with runes on it and ended up with some imprints or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll assume it's something to do with, you know, his where he comes from and his arcane pursuits and stuff. But
well, you know he's not from around here.
It's true. But well, yeah, I guess it's just nice to know Maliki's got my back.
Yay. Okay, well, I'll let you guys go. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Enjoy your whatever it is you're going out for.
Yeah, going to dinner.
Hey, we go then.
Going to a birthday dinner thing.
Oh.
So long. Farewell.
All right, see you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.